a big bomb goes off at a pop star's rock concert, bombing a bunch of liberal trendies. The same people, God love them, on average, who are promoting open borders, bringing Islamists in. Trump's been blocking that and saying, you don't come here from unvetted countries. And Saudi Arabia, many elements of their government, there's different factions, but they've been caught funding ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Trump has already defeated those armies in Syria and is now coming with an olive branch, but with strength, with a victory in his hand, a stick and an olive branch, arrows and an olive branch, and saying you need to back down now. And elements clearly in those factions of the 10,000 plus Saudi royalty, the Saudi princes, are saying that's not the case. We're going to strike back. 15 of the 19 hijackers came from Saudi Arabia, but we attacked Saudi Arabia's archenemy, Iraq, in 2003. It's the same story over and over again. Previous to that, 500,000 children died in these sanctions. The Muslim world didn't care. Our own government went along with it. Bill Clinton expanded the sanctions. And now we've seen the Arab Spring turned loose by Obama, with Saudi Arabia at the head of it, and Qatar, taking over much of the Middle East, killing areas that let Shiites and Christians live in peace. And Trump has said no to that. Trump has moved against it. But he's coming with an olive branch, trying to get Saudi Arabia to work with it. And their response is what we just saw. Whether it's the government, whether it's the king doing it, the big issue here, the thing we have to focus on and face, is that this is what's coming out of Saudi Arabia one way or the other. And this is their response. A day later is to blow up a bunch of trendies who've already run a white flag up to the black flag of Wahhabism. A bunch of liberals who've already run up the white flag to the Islamists, and this happens. So more of our liberties can be lost, and so governments in Europe, the UK, and the US can say, don't criticize Muslims or they'll blow you up because they're the religion of peace. A couple months ago, I had a source in the military that told me the next attack's going to be England. Get ready, that's where all the extremists are planning it. And since then, I saw an attack in Stockholm and the shootings in Paris, and I thought, well, maybe he's wrong. But now we see it's London with the next big attack. And the word is more of these are coming. In fact, that's the big news here from my sources, but also what the Islamists are saying is London's their target. It's left the EU. The EU and Merkel capitulated to Islam. They brought in 80% military-age men of the 5 million, quote, migrants. They opened the borders. They promoted with Peter Sutherland and the UN and George Soros and the Migrant Council to come to Europe. It's open. You get free stuff. You get women. You know, Europe's weak. Come on in. Repopulate us. Everything's free. We'll give you free houses. And they've done that to bring them in. So Europe ran up the white flag and they get raped and stabbed and run over and murdered. God, the Muslims are killing each other in their own countries. I don't hate Muslims. I want them to stop killing each other and us. And now they're here. And whether it's the Fort Hood attack or whether it's San Bernardino or whether it's all the other attacks on the military centers, the Army, Navy, Marine Corps recruiting centers, or whether it's the attacks that we see constantly, happening in Times Square, you name it, they never say it's Islamic. And you look at the BBC, they say, well, it might be Islamic, even as groups are taking credit for it. So Infowars.com's covering it all. Prison Planet's covering it all. Drudge Report's covering it all. Paul Watson is in England. He's from Sheffield. His favorite team is, I know, the Manchester United. I think Sheffield Wednesdays or something too. The point is, he's from that area. He'll be on with us 11 a.m. covering this. I'm very sad for the 19 that died, others who are reportedly very close to dying that are critical. Very, very sad for the 50 that were injured. But you bring in a Stone Age religion of monotheism, of total oppression of women. They're always killing each other. And then you cover up them murdering your own people. And you let them sexually groom women and kidnap little girls and run all their weird cult garbage on you. And then you wonder when it happens to you why it happened. Because this is a group of barbarous, insane people. Not all Muslims, but the orthodoxy. The main vein of it is extremism. I mean, they got slave pits selling women now in liberated Libya. And our media makes jokes about it. 19 dead at gig, nail bomb blast, terrorist strikes, Manchester. Thousands flee after loud bang at concert, panic. Suicide bomber suspected, 50 injured. 19 dead. Meanwhile, the Dems tell us worry about the Russians. They're going to get us any minute. Manchester, 19 dead in terror attack explosion in arena. Meanwhile, yesterday, Trump urges Muslim leaders to lead fight against radicalization and says that people that follow radical Islam and terrorism do not worship God, they worship death. And here's Manchester for you. Right smack dab in southern northern England. This is Scotland right up here.
People in the comments are saying there was 2 blasts now. You might want to look for that.
Absolutely, we'll look it up. Well, but it's not Islamic, okay? The guy's name's Muhammad or whatever. It's not Islamic. It never is. Breaking news: 19 people confirmed dead, 50 injured in Manchester arena terror attack. Explosion caused carnage. And all search engine. The point you were getting to. But if you get into this article, InfoWars Nightly News: explosion in arena.
Ariana
Grande concert.
That's her name.
Yeah, that's the pop person. Exclusive: Trump's Saudi orb is real crystal ball. It's an NSA database they call Palantir, based on the name from Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm not saying it's physically from Middle Earth, whenever that fiction was. I'm saying they call it themselves a crystal ball that accesses this whole NSA database. That's a very important video, an article that's on Infowars.com that I just shot live about an hour and a half ago. But let me just pull up 2 blasts.
And Alex, you were saying something as I was driving over, like just as we're being able to reach through to people and talk about this NSA database, this worldwide thing, a terror attack happens to shift the focus. And I just want to show people this. This was on Fox News. I just took a shot of that. It says possible terror incident right there. So that's BBC. The police were saying possible after this bomb blows up in the middle of a concert. There's nothing possible about it. So there's another look at it right there. That was on Tucker Carlson was interviewing an eyewitness to it. Possible.
Well, the Financial Times gets it right. Terror attack kills 19 in Manchester. Look, all I'm saying is, some people say, oh, it's a false flag, it's not the Muslims. The globalists have funded radical Islam. They've promoted it. They've brought it in. They've protected it. They've covered up for it. They're using it to take our liberties. Are the globalists allied with it? Absolutely. Did the globalists go in and stir up the countries and put radical Muslims in to further destabilize stuff? Absolutely. Did Obama and the neo-libs and the French and Hillary fund the whole Arab Spring, putting in radicals and overthrowing progressive governments? When I say progressive, I mean actually empowering women and everybody else. Yeah, the people our government funded under the Democrats run around and murder every gay person they find. That isn't some conservative platitudes. I'm kissing gay people's ass. I'm not a conservative. I'm a libertarian. I always have been. I don't care what your sexual preference is as long as you don't mess with people or try to sexualize children. That's what I was like 22 years ago. It's what I'm like now. But you so-called liberals just ignore that, like, oh, go ahead and kiss our ass, right-winger, because you like the power of being gay and putting your hand out and saying, kiss the ring. Fuck you. I mean, I'm serious. I'm sick of your crap and all the fake left and all the rest of you. Obsessed with what your sexual preference is and making that like it's everything. That's perverted in of itself, whether you're heterosexual or homosexual. It's like a total obsession. They're throwing gays off, murdering en masse, doing all this stuff, going and shooting up the nightclubs, constantly attacking people at liberal, Christmas parties in Northern California, and you cover up for it, and then feminists wear hijabs and say, we love Islam, Allah Akbar, when women have their genitals cut off and have hoods over their heads under Islam. I mean, it's just crazy how you hate the real freedom of America. That means Christians can be Christians, other groups can be their own groups, you can be agnostic, you can be atheist, but instead you want to ban Christmas cards being given out at public schools, when that's just little kids being able to have their own free speech, whether it's baseball cards or Pokemon cards or Harry Potter cards or Christian, Christmas cards. You people only hate Christians. And why? Because we have the open free societies. And you're threatened by that. You want socialism. You want globalism. You want the state to be God. And it's in all your own admissions that you are allied with Orthodox Islam. And that makes you cancer. And cancer, if it had a consciousness, killed most of my family, would think it was dominant, taking over. Oh, look, it took over lungs, brain, everything. I'm all powerful. I do what I want until you kill the host. And you won't respond because you're nerds and you're disempowered and you're wannabe bully fascists who hate real liberals. And so you get off on the fact that I'm even talking to you like you're human. You get off on the fact that I actually care about people being thrown off buildings because they're gay, or women being sold to slavery because they're women, or Christians being killed because they're Christian. You don't care. You just want me to patronize you and talk about you and kiss your ass. I see articles every day where they're banning whiteboards because somebody might write something in a college. That's beyond banning books. It's banning language. Or they're banning wood paneling because it's white. It's white people. And if I've got a thing of like some Native American thing, it must be cultural exploitation or stealing somebody's culture. It's just mental illness by the globalists, admittedly giving you worthless college degrees. They know we're going to be worthless in most cases. So they create total mental illness where you just are so basket case by the time you got to college, you don't know you were screwed over. I shouldn't talk about them. They don't matter. I just feel so sorry for them. I do, man. I don't get off on you being dumbed down. It's like Gruber went, thank God the public's so dumb. Obamacare is written by big banks to rip you off. Doubles, triples prices, you know. I don't think you're dumb. I think you're smart. And it upsets me that they sit there and call you stupid. But I know the libertarians, the conservatives, they're anti-globalists are awake. They matter. I should just stop talking to you because you don't care. You're nerds and gang members, like white supremacists are, who just want to be part of the N Club. And you just want to feel like you're dominant. Stephen Colbert agrees with you. All the other shows do, and you're in charge. You don't run anything. You're useful idiots. And now your precious Islam that puts hoods on women's heads and cuts their genitals off and wears all these weird outfits that control people and run around with hoods on their heads, they're going to be the boss. Because you weren't pro-liberty, you were just anti-Christian and anti-West. So, just like San Bernardino or Fort Hood or hundreds of other attacks, they won't call it terror. The guy runs over 50 people with a truck, they'll call it a truck attack. So I'll let you be the boss and control reality. Islam is a peaceful religion, and Islam was not involved in the attack in Manchester at the arena tonight. Okay? All right, Infowars.com apologizes and retracts it. Islam never killed anybody. Islam never rapes anybody. Islam never does anything wrong. Just let them in. Let them bring them in as refugees and use them as slave populations at their factories and control systems and just let them take over and just teach your daughters to wear the hijab. I was at the mall today. There was hijabs everywhere at Gap and other places. Just wear hijabs. Just give in to Islam. 1,300,000,000 slaves. I mean, free people. And just let them cut their genitals off. Let them beat the women. Women can't drive cars. Women can't make decisions. Women have no power. I'm liberal. You're right. My daughters, my 3 daughters, and my mother, they should all live in Saudi Arabia and do others. I'm sorry. You're right. You're the trendy bosses. I apologize to the liberals. And just everything's okay. I'll do what you say now. There was no terror attack in Manchester. There was nothing happened. It was a moment of peace and love from the Prophet Muhammad, who was always a peaceful, loving man, even when he murdered people and had sex with 9-year-olds. It was all liberal and trendy. Now, I don't agree with that as a person, but I want to be politically correct, okay? So I agree with Salon Magazine and everything else it's saying about that. No, actually, I don't. You people aren't liberals. You're a bunch of losers that find the lowest common denominator and serve a system trying to destroy society. We've taken the Republican Party over. We're going to take the Democratic Party over, and we're never going to surrender. Infowars.com/show. We'll be back tomorrow, Lord willing, 11 a.m. Central for the big kickoff where we break it all down. But go to Infowars.com right now and see my breakdown of that whole orb. I was like, oh, orb, big deal, some art display. Then I learned it like kicks on the whole deal is a symbol of NSA control. They've given the Saudis access to a giant threat fusion center and NSA data. The very thing they blamed Trump for giving the Russians, just talking to them about Islamic bombs and laptops. This is 1 trillion times beyond that. Dialing into the NSA, the British intelligence, the German, the EU, Interpol, your smart devices. I mean, this is such a big deal. No one has broken this but us. It's hiding. They admit it's a threat fusion center. They admit it's an anti-terrorism center to track currency. They admit it's a big center. They admit that thing controls it for whoever's doing presentations or for the hundreds and hundreds of analysts that are in there. That is big news. Infowars.com/show. Is it a good idea to give them that technology? Because we're hearing about the $350 billion weapons transfer over the next 10 years, $105 billion the next year. The first tranche, a little less than a third, like 29%. We're hearing about the first tranche right now, but the weapons aren't the issue because old kinetic weapons, energy weapons, directed energy weapons of every type, they don't matter anymore versus the info war and knowledge. Knowledge is power. The media spends all day ridiculing InfoWars because we're kooky and we're weird. But the truth is, we got our finger on the pulse. Everybody knows it. So spread this link, Infowars.com/show, and defeat the globalists. We're very sorry for those that got killed by the Islamic terror and those that got wounded. So it is Islamic terror. It is real. It is a threat. And it's being used to take our liberties. So I say, let them stay in their third world hellholes and kill each other. I'm sad they are, but I don't need to die. Neither does my family. And I'm sorry, feminists. I do not want to cut your genitals off. I'm a horrible anti-female person. I understand you're all cuckold and turned your men into like wastoids on Prozac and Ritalin, and you love having your sons being brain damaged, drooling, and you get this weird satanic feeling off of it. So it's so anti-male and so female to fly towards the moth, fly towards the flame of Islam that you're doing. And I understand it. Just be conscious as you fly into the flame why you did it, because you came from trash.